If you're already thinking about gift giving season, you're gonna love today's video. I partnered with Inventables to design this really cute CNC dollhouse. It is cut out of just one 24 by 28 inch piece of 1/4 inch MDF. So it's super budget friendly, but I love that it has all of this detail. You can either decorate it yourself or gift it to somebody, and so they can decorate it themselves. And I actually designed this dollhouse for my daughter's birthday party. I cut out one of these dollhouses for all of the little girls that came to the birthday party to decorate for themselves. They had such a blast, and I'm so excited I get to share this project with you.
Each dollhouse will need a 24 by 28 inch piece of MDF. Cut that out with whatever you have in your shop, and then lay it down on your X-Carve wasteboard and secure it firmly with some clamps. You're going to make sure those clamps are far enough away from the edges so that they are not hit with all of the details as you cut it out. I did all of the carving of the details for my dollhouse first. So I put my 90-degree V-carve bit on my X-Carve, walked through the setup process, and then sat back and watched all the details of the dollhouse come to life. When that carve finished, I swapped out my bits. Now, it can be a little challenging to not jog the machine when you swap out the bits. So for a quick tip, make sure that the starting position, that XY for your initial carve, is in your homed machine position. That way, in case you do jog your machine, you can immediately bump it back to home, start it from there again, and you don't have to worry about your two carves being slightly off. I added an 1/8 inch straight cut bit. It's a double fluted bit, and it cut out all of the pieces beautifully on this MDF. Then I pulled the completed carve off the X-Carve. I love using my multi-tool to cut out the tabs of all of the little pieces. It cut through this MDF really easily. I just used a sanding block to clean up the edges, and that was all that it needed for these. There were a couple spots of my carve that didn't carve through the bottom all the way. So I ended up using an X-Acto knife to really get in and cut that tiny bit of MDF at the bottom, and it worked beautifully, so I didn't have to recarve any pieces. I did a dry fit before gluing any of the pieces together of the entire dollhouse, and this helped me to see that my tabs were a little tight. The reason was because my MDF that I used for this dollhouse build was actually a little thicker than 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch. I used my calipers and before cutting and checked it, and I was varying between a 0.255 and a 0.268. So all of the tabs are made to fit a 0.25 inch thickness, which does not mean that you cannot use the slightly thicker MDF. What I ended up doing is just doing a slight sanding on each end of those tabs, take off a tiny bit, and then I was able to press them in. Once I'd completed the dry fit, I pulled it all apart and then glued everything together. With the glue up, make sure to add glue to both sides of all of the notches on the side of the building so that it'll really hold that tight. I added glue to those and to the tops where they would insert into the tabs. It is a little bit of a balancing act until you get a few pieces attached. And then I got out the clamps to hold it once I had a few pieces attached to where the clamps could actually hold onto it without flattening out my dollhouse. Once I got the main building completely glued together, I was able to put it into the base. Those 3 tabs, one on each side and one on the front, slot right into the base, and that really helped hold everything together nicely. I continued around the whole dollhouse. I did use a scrap piece of wood and a hammer to tap things in. Like I said, I did have a very tight fit on some of those tabs, but it made it so that the dollhouse is holding together beautifully. The dollhouse also comes with a bed and 2 chairs, and once I got these assembled, I realized they're a little larger than for scale for the dollhouse, but they work great for little fingers. I'm actually going to include a second set of furniture in the easel file for these that will be a little bit more proportionate to the actual size of the dollhouse. But either way, whether you need the larger furniture or the smaller furniture, you assemble the furniture very easily the same way as the dollhouse. Let it all dry, and then you are good to go.
And now your DIY dollhouse is all ready to decorate. The MDF will take paint beautifully. And then have fun decorating the inside to however you want. Use scraps of wallpaper, decorative papers, fabric, even scraps of flooring to really customize the inside of your dollhouse. And make sure to grab the file for this easel project is in the description below. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure to follow along at housefulofhandmade.com for even more DIY projects.